So I have a garage that's probably about 40 years old, and I really haven't done anything to the electrical aspect of it, including the lighting, except put in a new garage door opener probably 10, 15 years ago. And really the only lighting was from the garage door opener or a single naked incandescent bulb. So if you had to go in there at night or even twilight, it was very hard to see what was in there, and you could miss things that were practically underfoot. So I resolved to dramatically improve the lighting without going nuts, and that's the purpose of this video. I selected this lamp here. There's two of them shown in the boxes. I just bought them from Amazon. They're the Lithonia brand, and they're the FMLWL 48-840. They call it a low profile LED flush mount ceiling light. It's about 4 feet long. 4000K is the light color, which is cool white, and I preferred that for the types of things I've got going on in my garage where I want to be able to see colors more accurately. The fixture is rated for 3000 lumens and uses 33 watts. I went shopping at Ace Hardware and bought a 50-foot roll of steel armored cable with copper conductors, 2 conductors, 14 gauge each, plus an aluminum bonding wire, which you can use to terminate to ground screws and so on, or bonding screws in fixtures. Although you could probably get away with just using the metal sheath for grounding. Of the 3 lamps I bought, 2 are going to go parallel to rafters up in the garage roof area, and the third one will go perpendicular. So the ones that are parallel, they're just going to be mounted using 2 metal or steel angle brackets per each, and these photos show the mounting of those brackets on the lamp fixtures. To mount the brackets, I just drilled a couple of holes through the very thin steel of the lamp fixture and put through a number 10, actually 1032, machine screws with lock washers and nuts on the inside, and let the heads sit down into the countersunk style holes that are already in the metal brackets. I used the same kind of screws to mount a 4x4 octagonal metal box to use as a junction box on the back side of the fixture, and had one of the knockouts removed to allow the lamps, hot and neutral wires and ground wire to feed through, and also put in an appropriate fitting for the BX, the steel armored cable. Here's one of the fixtures with both brackets mounted and the junction box mounted. Because the pigtails that came on the lamp fixtures are stranded wire, I could not use the little push-in connectors that are more popular today and that I wanted to use. So in this instance, I had to go back to the good old-fashioned wire nuts, and you can see where I've got the green wire from the fixture connecting to the green screw on the junction box, and then also the aluminum bonding wire from the BX cable also goes to that screw. And then the suitable cover seals it up fairly well. 2 fixtures ready to go and mount to the rafters. You may notice that I have the BX exiting the junction boxes on opposite sides, and that's because I want the BX to run towards the center of the garage, and the lamp fixtures are mounted towards the extreme left and right sides of the garage, so that's why they come out different directions. Alright, here's the left lamp overhanging from one of the cross pieces on the rafters, and here's the corresponding one over on the right side of the garage in a similar position. Now to prepare the third fixture, which, as I said before, will go perpendicular to the rafters. And so I have just a scrap of board that I've cut to be about 1.25 inches longer on each end than the fixture is long. I used a Forstner bit to drill a nice clean hole through the board so that the wiring exiting the rear of the light fixture can get through the board to the rear of the junction box. That'll be screwed to the board in that location. I didn't take a photo of it, but that drilled hole is sized to allow a piece of 1/2-inch conduit, which I just cut off a little piece of scrap so that that hole is lined with steel. So if the wires overheat, they don't have any chance of coming in contact with the wood. It's not really per code, but I think it's functionally acceptable. Here's the lamp or the light fixture screwed onto the board, again with the extended piece of wood sticking out both ends, only one end shown here, of course. Again, I just put sheet metal screws through holes I drilled in the sheet metal of the light fixture, and then the sheet metal screws threaded into the wood. Here are some pictures of the wiring into the junction box, and these were taken before I got the idea of lining the hole with a piece of conduit, so they don't show that. I had to dismantle a bit of my work before I stuck that back in there and then reconnected things. Okay, everything's wired up on the third fixture, ready to be mounted to the rafters. Alright, here's the third fixture mounted with its backing board spanning a couple of the rafters, the cross pieces. This was quite a trial to get this up here working by myself. I can't reach far enough apart to hold both ends or even see where the screw holes are or anything like that. So I really had to work from one end and then how to support the other end. I ended up getting some just some plain steel wire, which I have a nice size reel of. I could have used some scrap electrical wire and looped it around the rafter member and made it a loop, like a hanging loop, which I could then stick one end up into one loop and then stick the other one in, holding the lamp from the middle, and that would hold both ends of the lamp up with only about 1 inch between them and the board they're going to be screwed onto. So then I could move my ladder to one end and screw that end in and move to the other end and screw it in, and I wouldn't have to support it myself. And here is where I've got all the conduits, the BX that is coming from one fixture that's sort of off to the upper right, and then the one at the far side, sort of the bottom of the picture, and then the third one off to the middle right. Got all their conduits, or the BXs, coming over and heading towards the junction box that was set up for a ceiling fan, which I no longer use. The fan is shown at the left of the picture. I knocked 3 new holes for BX fittings into the old ceiling fan junction box, and you can see the wiring for the garage door opener, which just passes through this box. I wasn't tying into that at all. And then brought in the 3 lengths of BX, and you can see I'm using the push-in connectors instead of wire nuts in this case because it's all solid wire. This junction box did not support the ceiling fan. It was supported by its own bracket screwed into the rafter just a few inches away. The thing that was on the bottom of this fixture, or this junction box, was one of those old ceramic incandescent light bulb fixtures, and I decided to salvage that and just put a new LED screw-in light bulb in its place. I don't have the wiring for that in here yet. Here's my test. You can see the 3 new lamps at the left, the right, and the upper center You can also see the new screw-in incandescent bulb, which I installed in the junction box, and then to the right are the dual lamps of the garage door opener. I don't have the diffuser covers on the lamp fixtures yet. Here I have the diffuser covers on the left and the center and the right light fixtures. And here's a better view of that single screw-in LED bulb screwed into the ceramic fixture on the junction box, and then of course the garage door opener is over to the right. Okay, project complete. Shot at twilight, so not a ton of light coming into the garage, but between the garage door two lamps, 100-watt equivalent LEDs, two of them, and then the screw-in one on the junction box next to that, and then the three new fixtures, I'm getting pretty good coverage and reasonably even illumination of the entire floor space of the garage. So I call that project a success.